Interior Secretary Doug Burgum joins us now. Mr. Secretary, there's a lot. I'm reading the New York Times today, and they're claiming that you guys were caught by surprise that the price of oil went up. Is that true?
Completely fake news there, obviously. But one thing I would say with President Trump, who's been focused on bringing prices down since the day he took office, affordability has been a central part of this, inheriting these high prices across the board. But whether it's energy prices, prescription drugs, this entire administration has been focused on.
You know, if you've been feeling that sting at the gas pump lately, you are definitely not alone. So today, we're going to dig into the administration's really high-stakes multi-front plan to bring those prices back down. Right, so this is the question lighting up pretty much everyone's dashboard. What's behind this sudden surge? Let's just dive right into the official explanation. So the administration is pointing to one very, very specific trouble spot on the global map, the Strait of Hormuz. You got to think of it as a major artery for the entire world's oil supply. So any blockage, any threat right there, it causes this global backup that we all end up feeling right at the pump. Okay, so against this backdrop of global uncertainty, the administration is making a pretty bold and frankly, a very surprising promise about what's going to happen next with the price of gas. The White House is being absolutely crystal clear here. They are telling the public, in no uncertain terms, that this price spike, it's temporary. I mean, that is a direct and a very big promise to everyone worried about their wallets. And here's the major twist. They're tying that promise directly to a military operation, codenamed Epic Fury. Now, the official claim is that success in this operation won't just lower prices. It could actually make them even cheaper than they were before this whole crisis started. A bold promise like that? Well, it needs an equally bold plan. So how exactly are they planning to pull this off? The administration has laid out what they're calling a three-pillar strategy, and we're going to walk through each and every one. So here they are, the three pillars of their strategy. First, securing global oil transit. Second, massively boosting domestic production. And third, leveraging key international alliances. It's a plan that's really designed to attack the problem from every possible angle. First up, keeping that oil superhighway flowing. The administration, along with its regional allies, is sending a very clear message. The Strait of Hormuz is staying open for business, period. And they are fully prepared to enforce that. And the stated long-term goal here is incredibly ambitious. I mean, Interior Secretary Doug Burgum puts it bluntly. The ultimate aim is to eliminate this terrorist regime, arguing that lasting global stability and with it, stable energy prices can only come from this kind of decisive action. Now for the second pillar, which brings the entire focus right back home. The plan is to double down on America's own energy production, to build what they're calling energy dominance. And they insist they're not starting from scratch. I mean, look at this. The U.S. is already the world's #1 producer of both oil and liquefied natural gas. The strategy now is to press that advantage even further to kind of insulate the country from these global shocks. Now, at the very heart of this domestic push is a massive new investment. And it's a number that's just hard to ignore, $300 billion. So, where's all that money going? All that money is earmarked for a brand new facility in Texas called American First Refining. The Interior Secretary is billing it as the most advanced refinery built in the U.S. in half a century. So the goal here is simple. It's about creating much more domestic capacity to turn crude oil into the gasoline that fuels our economy. Okay, the third and final pillar. This one is all about diplomacy. This is the soft power component of the strategy, using alliances and global cooperation to stabilize the market and take some of that immediate pressure off prices. So on the diplomatic front, they're making several pretty big moves. They're working to bring Venezuela back into the fold as an oil supplier. They're pushing for a release of international emergency reserves to provide a quick fix for the market. And they're shoring up energy relationships with key allies in the Gulf. Of course, a plan this ambitious and this controversial is bound to have its critics. So let's take a look at the objections being raised and see exactly how the administration is firing back. First up, a New York Times report suggested the administration was caught flat-footed by the price hike. While Interior Secretary Burgum's response was swift, it was direct, and it was completely unequivocal, completely fake news. Next up, the governor of California is pointing the finger squarely at the administration for those sky-high gas prices in his state. The administration's response? They're turning the tables and blaming California's own state-level energy policies. And their whole argument hinges on this data. The number of oil refineries operating in California has just cratered, dropping from 40 down to just 8. They claim this has gutted the state's own fuel production capacity, making it super vulnerable. And the result, according to the administration? Well, California now has to import 63% of its oil. They argue that this heavy reliance on outside sources, which is a direct result of state policy, is what's really driving up prices for Californians. So when you connect all the dots here, the military action, the domestic spending, the global diplomacy, what is the ultimate goal? What is the administration's stated long-term vision? You know, the Interior Secretary frames the entire situation like this. They see the current short-term interruption and the pain it's causing as a necessary cost to achieve a long-term transformation of peace and stability in a really critical region. So the ultimate prize here isn't just about what you pay for gas today. It's about trying to create a fundamentally more stable Middle East, building on frameworks like the Abraham Accords. The theory is that this long-term stability will lead to lower and much more predictable energy prices for everybody. It is a massive, incredibly complex plan, directly linking military action thousands of miles away to the price you pay right here at home. And it all just leaves us with one huge, overarching question. Will this high-stakes strategy actually work and reshape the global energy landscape for decades to come?